Now we're going to discuss spotter awareness, communications, and reporting. You always need to stay aware while you're storm spotting. Constantly monitor your surroundings and the risks around you. You need to know the roads that you're on and the area you are spotting in. You need to be alert for areas with damage or flooding. In the example of this particular picture, this would be an area that could be prone to some flash flooding, not to mention all the trees that are around that could be blown down during a storm. You also need to be mindful of safety zones and escape routes. In this particular example, the cars are driving directly underneath these power lines, which could snap at any point given the weight of the power poles. You need to monitor the weather conditions at all times in all directions. Don't be so focused on one particular thing that you're not going to notice what's happening behind you. If you are storm spotting from a regular location, be sure to know the direction and the distance between your location and nearby landmarks. You can use online mapping programs to help determine your distance from items such as cell towers, trees, and similar objects. Experience has shown that a hazard is usually at least twice as far away as you might think. The Storm Prediction Center issues these severe weather outlooks, and they have made some changes over the last several months. Previously, there had been 3 categories for the Day 1 and Day 2 outlooks, and these have been increased to 5 levels. And for the Day 3 outlook, this has been increased to 4 levels. One of the new terms that they use in the outlooks is considered a marginal risk of severe weather. This means that generally thunderstorms are expected, but a few of them could produce some severe weather. Previously on their maps, these have been the areas that were vaguely listed as C text. We still have the slight risk of severe thunderstorms, which means that scattered severe storms are expected with isolated tornadoes possible. Another new item on their outlooks is the enhanced slight risk, or just enhanced for short. This means that there will be more coverage of severe thunderstorms, and there are higher probabilities of high wind and large hail, as well as tornadoes. However, the strength is about the same, for the most part, as the regular slight risk. And there has been no change to the moderate or high risk of severe weather. Here's an example of how the outlook used to look. In this particular example, we have a very broad risk of slight risk of severe thunderstorms. However, the new enhanced category is shown here in the light brown color. The Storm Prediction Center usually issues their severe thunderstorm watches 30 to 60 minutes before the onset of organized sustained severe weather. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have any severe weather before that, but that's the point where they're starting to get organized. Watches generally range from about 4 to 8 hours in length. They will issue a severe thunderstorm watch when they expect organized severe thunderstorms with significant or widespread severe weather. These can include supercells, squall lines, and widespread multi-cell storms. They will also issue them for significant risk of severe weather, which is defined as having hail at least 2 inches in diameter or greater, or wind gusts of at least 75 miles an hour. They will issue a tornado watch when they expect multiple tornadoes of any magnitude, or a chance of 1 or more significant tornadoes, defined as being EF2 strength or greater. As with a severe thunderstorm watch, you can also expect large hail and damaging winds in areas where a tornado watch is in effect. When you're out in the field, some items that you need to bring with you are some sort of communication device, such as a cell phone or a radio. You need to also make sure that you have a safe shelter nearby if you need to evacuate quickly. Be sure to have a GPS or local maps to help you get around. Binoculars are helpful for determining severe weather off in the distance. Be sure to have a weather radio with you so you know that when we issue severe weather watches or warnings. Also, a smartphone or a laptop can be used to monitor weather conditions. There are various weather applications for both to be able to monitor radar and other similar activities. When you report, be sure to let whoever you are reporting to know that you are a trained spotter. Let them know what you have witnessed, the specific weather event in question. Be sure to let them know when the event occurred, not the time that you are reporting, but when it actually happened. Also let them know where it occurred, not just your location. Items such as tornadoes could be off in the distance. Be sure to let them know what direction it is from where you are located. Be sure to use well-known roads that can be found on any map. If you're reporting a tornado, be sure to let them know, is it still in sight or has it dissipated? How long was it there? And are there any injuries or damage? If you're reporting funnel clouds or wall clouds, be sure to relay if you are seeing persistent rotation, and if so, how long it has been rotating. If you're reporting flash flooding, be sure to let us know which roads, creeks, rivers, or streams are being impacted. Also let us know whether any roads have been closed. If you know how deep the water is, be sure to let us know, as well as whether the water is flowing over the road or is just ponded over it. Also let us know, is this an area that normally receives flooding? And is the water level rising, falling, or is it holding steady? If you're reporting winds, it's helpful to report winds of at least 40 miles an hour or greater. Let us know whether this is estimated or measured. It is difficult to estimate wind speeds, as they often seem higher than they actually are, so give a description of moving objects or damage. For wind speeds of about 40 to 55 miles an hour, you may see small tree limbs breaking, and your walking may be impeded. When winds get up to about 55 to 70 miles an hour, large tree limbs will start to break, and some shallow-rooted trees will be blown down. When winds are 70 to 100 miles an hour, you'll start seeing damage to roofs and siding, and severe damage to outbuildings, and trailers may be tipped over as well. So when you're reporting wind damage, be sure to report damage to trees, tree limbs, power lines or poles, and any damage to buildings. Be sure to give the sizes of the objects in question. Also let us know, was the object in good condition? Was this a well-built building, or was it a very old one that looks like it could be blown down by just pushing on it? If it's a tree that's fallen down, was it in good condition, or does it look like it was rotted out? When you're reporting hail, report hail of penny size or larger. We do issue our severe weather warnings when hail is at least 1 inch in diameter. On this table on the right, we try to estimate the hail size based on common objects. Note that we don't actually have a description for 1/2 inch. That used to be what we referred to as marble size hail, but marbles do come in different sizes, so we just use a simple 1/2 inch. Report any damage that has been caused by hail. If you work for your local emergency manager or local emergency services and disaster agency, be sure to follow the reporting rules of your agency. Contact the local EMA or ESDA office or 911 with your report. If you are a Skywarn spotter, call 911 first if the incident has resulted in any injuries. Then relay your report to us. When you report, be sure to let us know that you are a Skywarn spotter.